Hello and welcome to this little demonstration video on the data element extractor that you can access and interact with now on the data semantics platform. So let me just briefly show you how this is working. Now, to do the LLM-based data extraction, we basically need to go through 3 steps. In this first step right here, we just define the large language model that we want to use for the data extraction. Now, you can define your own preferences here, or you just go with the default mode and click on this little spacecraft. In the second step, we next need to define the data elements that we actually want to extract, so the topics or questions that should be extracted. Now you can create the topics right here, and when you click on this button, or otherwise for this demonstration, we also have created a few sample data sets and structures that you can use. Let's go with this clinical triage use case. So this is basically a few different questions on vital parameters and so on for to be extracted from a report of an emergency department. After you have defined these topics, you just click again on this little button, which leads us to this direct extraction part of the application. Basically, you can put in here any text that you want and can then do the extraction. Now, if you don't have a good example to do the extraction, just use one of the examples where we have provided here for these sample use cases. Now you can also change that however you want. And then you see here on the right the questions that we had defined previously. And if you now click on extract, it will do the extraction and answer all these questions, all the answers given here in blue. And as you see, it is actually working quite quickly. After a brief delay, it also will highlight in the text where this particular answer was given. So this is actually working quite well. Also, if you check here, so these answers seem to be correct. Now, if you want to change that, for example, in this particularly use case, we have this information on respiratory rate in many cases in the letter, but we don't have that defined as a data element, so this will not be extracted at the moment. So if we want to also extract that, let's just go back one step and let's customize these topics a bit. Let's go all down here to the bottom. Let's click add topic, where we can now just define our new questions. This would be, what is the respiratory rate? When defining these questions, it's important to be precise what you actually mean, so not that there is some ambiguity or some unclarity in your question in there. And after we've confirmed that, we can actually go back to our extraction. Let's again insert an example and let's check if it is working. Respiratory rate 17. So if we click extraction again, we'll again answer all these questions. And now we actually expect here at the bottom, what is the respiratory rate? It's 17, that is correct. So you see this is actually working quite well. Also with different questions and new questions that you may define. Now, obviously there may be situations where you don't want to do an extraction just on one individual text or just a few lines of text, but you have actually a whole data set that you want to analyze. You can do that as well. Just go here on this extract from file. There's a bunch of different ways how you can define your data set or create a new one. For this demonstration, let us actually select the data set. Here's also some explanation on what this is. So this is a synthetic data set. It looks something like this. So basically kind of an Excel sheet with different reports in the different cells here. So let's use this. And now if we want to do a data extraction here, it will actually tell you this is not possible because we're using the free model, and this is a bit restricted, so we cannot use this on this large data set. However, you can still do this data extraction. Just go back to step 1 and define your model provider, your model that you want to use, and let's put in the API key that you obviously need for that. Then now if we go back to this extraction step, we can actually launch this, and you can see in this case we have actually 20 different reports in there, and it will then go through one after the other answering all of these different questions. And you can, I mean, this use case now has 20 cells, but you can also work with a few hundred or even a few thousand if you want. It will just take a bit longer. And now we can actually go to the results, which is the last step that we have not taken a look at yet. So if we click here, we actually then see what was extracted, what were the answers here. You can also, yeah, if you're interested in this work, also please put in some feedback and put in your name. And since many new features and modules will be added to this data semantics platform, make sure to join the waiting list so that you don't miss out on anything. And yeah, so here you have it. This is your data that you have extracted. If you actually want to download this and have a look at it in a more maybe familiar version, just go here and you will actually see them in a format like that. So basically we have here the text in the first columns and then here afterwards all these different questions, including the one that I have just defined. And then you have all these results here that you can then further work with if you're interested. All right, and yeah, that's basically it. So I hope you see it's pretty straightforward to use. And yeah, let us know what you think about it. And we are looking forward to keep working on that and also add new features to the data semantics platform. Thank you so much for watching and see you.